this check to our fire department for $1,500. This is the money that our committee has earned and saved over the years. We hope that this will help you out with whatever you need to continue to support our community. We thank you.
Very appreciative.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Good job.
Thank you.
We had two different public hearings. One was going to be just for regular comments, which is this one here that a lot of people signed up for. And then there was going to be one when we opened the budget process for the public hearing. Is anybody on this regular public hearing needs to go to the budget public hearing?
Okay, so two.
All right.
They're all here.
I think everybody had questions about multiple things, just figured they'd throw it all on the same page.
Well, because we have to open and then close and then open and then
Yeah.
close.
Has anybody got anything for regular public hearing?
Yeah, I'm the first one on the list.
All right, Keenan? No. Oh, Brian?
That's me.
Okay, all right, Brian? Yes, sir.
May actually say budget in my comment, but it's not about the budget.
Okay.
Well, sort of. I took some notes on my phone, so bear with me here. So my name is Brian Craig. I've lived in Bowling Springs for 17 years. I live on Pine Lake Road. Since I've lived here, we've had a multitude of natural disasters. Hurricanes, tropical storms, that funky tropical cyclone last August that nobody knew was coming, and a wildfire. Who would have guessed Bowling Springs and a wildfire? So all these events to me are learning moments. We got to take the lessons we learned from them and move forward, and figure out what we can do better. So there's two things I'd just like to talk about really quick. The first one is our roads need to be repaired. Two reasons. One, for evacuation, and two, for emergency response. Second thing I'd like to talk about is emergency communication. I use Facebook. Not everybody in this room does use Facebook. I don't mind using social media. I've got a lot of great information, some bad and some good from Facebook. And I use it a lot during natural disasters, but it's not official. Even if it comes from the mayor's Facebook page or even the city's Facebook page, anybody can post on there. It's just not official. We need an official way to communicate with our citizens, an official way for those really important things like evacuate. You can come home now, or the road's closed. It's open again. Right? That kind of stuff is really important during a natural disaster. So I bring these two areas of concern up. For the main reason for that is that we're 3 days into hurricane season 2025. We're gonna have a tropical storm and a hurricane. We just know we will. And so evacuation and communication are super important. Lastly, I'm not condemning the commission. I'm not condemning any individuals here. You guys do a really hard job. But what I would suggest is that when we review the proposed budget, we look for any discretionary spending and we consider redirecting the discretionary spending to something the city needs, not something the city wants. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else sign up for public comment? You did? Okay, what's your name?
Lynn.
Leo? Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I can't hear you.
I will talk louder.
turn it on. Mic turn it on.
Does the mic have to go louder?
I've never been accused of not speaking loud enough, so that's surprising. Again, my name is Lil Ashton. I live at 508 Crystal Road. I'm going to sort of piggyback off from what the first gentleman spoke of. I haven't lived here that long, but since I've lived here just over a year and a half, not even a year and a half, we had cyclone number 8, and that did demolish pretty much my house. That was 8 months old. I had to be rescued. Thank you. And just recently, Sunset Fire reached a quarter mile from my house. Everything is gone. What I'm scared of, and it isn't just me personally, this affects my neighborhood, it affects the future growth here, it affects all of us here. We have problems with our ditches, and I know, Mr. Hargrove, you and I have talked, and you've got a plan in place and that sort of thing, but I'm scared. I am scared out of my mind right now. If there is water coming, there is nothing to stop it. Nobody disagrees with me that the clearing on 87 was a direct path to my house and to my neighborhood, and that had a big impact. Now we have all this fire that burnt everything around my house, around my neighborhood, around Boiling Springs. So what are we going to do now? I don't think we can wait. There needs to be something put in place now. I am beyond grateful for our fire department and for my friends who helped me in such a devastating situation. But this is going to be a lot more of us if we don't do something. Not just cleaning up the ditches, having that maintenance plan, but keeping up with it and figuring out an evacuation route. I don't know where I would go, honestly. I stayed at the fire department all day during that cyclone. So yeah, that's what I wanted to come to here and speak to. I am scared. I'm sure other people are scared. I'm having nightmares. I've got PTSD. What are we going to do now for all of us? Thank you.
Thank you. Did anybody else sign up for public hearing? Regular public hearing? The regular public hearing?
Yes. Yes.
Why, what's your
I
name?
go with the second name on the list.
Mike, okay.
Yeah. Name is Mike Williams. Been here 40 years. Third night we moved in, my son and I were over here on Boiling Spring Road sandbagging with prisoners, armed guard, and everything else for Boiling Spring Lakes when Hurricane Diana hit us. A few weeks after I got in, I got a phone call from a lady by the name of Insminger. Her husband was in charge of the dams, and she asked me if I would mind, at my younger days, if I would mind taking over for her husband, who was quite old at that time, and I said I would. So for 18 years, I took care of that dam. And I'm sure there's a few of you around here who knows that there was never a problem until I had a little run-in with a commissioner. I was asked to be a commissioner. I said, no, I won't do it. I would rather continue being in charge of the lakes and parks, recreation. I wrote all of the rules and regulations, 2 bookfuls of them, and one morning after one of the commissioners resigned and Charles Saunders was appointed in his place. Mark Stewart, who a few of you folks might remember, was the mayor, and he asked me to please take the spot. And I said, no, I'd better stay and do the other stuff. Well, Saunders took it over, and at 7:30 the next morning, he called me and he says, Mike, we don't need you anymore. This is after 18 years of me doing that dam. That year, they did not lower the dam properly, and we had $75,000 worth of grout put in the holes because they sucked all the water out. Next year or the year after, $50,000 worth of grout. Now we're looking at 57 million, I believe it is, to repair the dam. There's nobody up there working on the big dam. They're all working on the little ones, and maybe that's a good idea. But after me working up there for 18 years in the middle of storms with a great big valve opening and closing them things that you folks don't know what they were like. They weighed 90 pounds, and the valves would go like that. And we had to open them 300 to 400 turns. Pouring down rain, hurricanes coming, whatever. Charles Snyder called me the next morning and says, after he gets elected or put in place, we don't need you anymore. And we had the 2 sinkholes. Now, 2 weeks prior to Florence hitting, I called Mayor Castor and said, Craig, you got to get up and open the valves. 3 inches of torrential downfall raises the surface water on that big lake, which you guys have the wrong numbers on. It's not 275 acres, it's 310 acres. I have the information about that. I told him, you got to open it. Mike, we're doing it now. Don't worry about it. It's all okay. We'll take good care of it. All right, I'm warning you, we're getting 24 to 36 inches. You don't have to do it anymore. We got it. Saturday before Florence hit, Craig, nobody's opened the valves yet. Don't worry, Mike, we're going to get it done. 18 years I broke my butt trying to keep that place nice so that you could sell these little tiny houses you're putting up here and bringing the value of all the other big houses around. Thank you. I see no reason other than the fact that I was told if the lake was there, I put my house on the market. I got to get out of this town. I gave you 40 years and I got nothing but crap. Pardon the expression if you think that's a bad word. Now I got to get out of here, and I was told I could get $750,000 for my house. The highest I've been able to hear is $500,000. Because all of these little places, I'm not begrudging people homes, but not in the R1 district. Got to stop. One person was responsible for that dam and the $57 million that they got to lay out now. They didn't listen to me. They didn't open the valves. And then when they tried to open the valves, it was too late.
Mr. Williams, that's 5 minutes.
All right.
Thank you.
Next on the list, Tim
Yes, sir.
Williams. I reserve to Mr. Williams.
Is that legal to do?
It is now.
Thank you. I would like to continue if you don't mind. I can't say much more about the dam, but it's got to be fixed. I hope when you folks sign a contract with these people that on X number of days, if the dam is not done, then we're going to start charging you $10,000 a day until you get it done. Next thing that I want to say, I'm going to piss off, pardon me, I'm going to aggravate a few people. I'm not sure what the 42%, how much is supposed to go to the fire department. Now, and I know the fire department is a very important thing to this township. I know because I was in it. I wrote up all of their training sessions. I did everything, take them down. They did not know anything at one point. I went up there and took every piece of equipment off their rigs, laid them out on a training night and said, all right, what is that? I hate to say how many people didn't know what a Halligan was, didn't know what a partner saw was, didn't know what a 6-foot hook was. And I stayed as long as I could. I told them I did not want to be an officer. They wanted me to be chief. And I can understand why you might not want to be a chief. Believe me. But I had to put up with it with a few people that were there, and it was bad news. Now, in case you think I don't know what I'm talking about, this is my helmet. This is the one that I wore in the South Bronx in the 70s when the Bronx was burning. 24,000 runs a year in the firehouse that I lived in. And I mean lived in. It's the greatest bunch of guys you've ever seen in your life. If you brothers would like to take a look at some of the fires that I was in, I will gladly prove to you that I do know how to fight fires. Because I went to a good percentage of the 24,000. I saved 6 civilians and 2 of my brother firefighters from dying. Thank you, God. Now, what I'm going to say is a while back, they took money from the budget and bought everybody who put their name in. First, I know we need to have a certain number of personnel to get a good insurance rating. You also got to train, right, brothers? They have to be trained. The turnout gear. They bought turnout gear for everybody whose name was on the fire department, but they don't show up. They only get a certain few, but that's the same thing in youth football, girls softball, and all of that. You only get a few. Everybody will join, but not that many will show up at fires. I don't know why. I honestly don't. I loved my job. I loved it dearly. My son can attest to that. But I don't see any reason. The last I heard was the fire department gets $384,000 a year. This tower ladder that I drove, was 8 years old, and we were doing 24,000 runs a year. I don't see you guys needing a new rig. Honest to God. Pick it up and run it up. I went to many a fire here in Boiling Springs. Glad to do it. Glad to help the people. But I told the brothers, if I tell you, go do this, I'm not the chief, but I want you to do this. But I'm not going to put you in jeopardy to be burned up or die. So I honestly don't see, after a brand new firehouse, getting rid of an old firehouse, the little ones you got back here, I got Joe Perro and I got the firehouse back by Joe's house on Boiling Spring Road, and we did it. But I remember the days, guys, when we were standing out in that corner with a boot or a helmet begging for money. You got $384,000 now or more. You got all new rigs. You don't need any more money, in my opinion, and I'm sorry for being such a pain in the neck. And I hope that the city will do something about what I asked.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Has anybody else signed up for the public hearing?
Thank you.
What is your name?
Kim.
Kim Pugh. I live at West Boiling Spring, or West North Shore Road on the lake. My husband and I have only been there less than 3 years, little over 2 years. We bought on the first dam. So it's our property beside of us is where the dam is that you're not repairing, that's supposedly private owned. Our concern is, first of all, I don't know how in the world someone owns the property in the middle of the lake bed. When we bought the property, we were told that that property was city land, city owned, public property. We now found out that it's not, that it's actually private owned in the middle of the lake bed. When we discovered that that dam was not being replaced, it's not a problem with us. We don't need the dam. I didn't understand why the dam was there to start with. The other dam is up above it. So it's not like we're asking why the dam isn't being replaced. What our concern is the public safety of the damage from that dam. There are huge pieces of concrete that are just broken, sticking up everywhere. In the summertime, my husband and I have noticed, a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers go crawling through there, coming down beside our property and go down in the lake bed, crawling through it. I don't care. Teenagers can do what they want to do and go walking. I'm concerned about them when they go walking down in that lake bed and snakes and alligators, but they do go down through there. There is a concern on us of whether we're going to have to call the fire department sometime or a rescue squad because somebody's gotten injured down there. And when the water does come back, if you're not going to replace the dam, are you going to at least clean it up? When the water comes back, we're very much concerned about, even if it's a kayak coming through there. I keep reading where that water level's not going to be very high on that side because that dam's not getting replaced. Well, are we going to at least clean up the damage that's there from the last dam? Or is someone getting injured because it's privately owned and someone gets injured in that area now or after the water is, do they have to sue that landowner? And I don't have a clue who that landowner is. I would think that would be more of a city public safety issue, that the city could make sure that they took care of at least resolving the public safety issue for that area. That's all our concern is.
Thank you. Thank you. Address it with manager. Anybody else sign up for public hearings? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Yes, sir, Andrew.
Got it?
Your name's Ed?
Andrew Liptak.
Okay. Right, I got you. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. I want to make a statement. I want to talk about the development in here. I think it's going crazy. Okay. There's so much against the additional development. First of all, the development and the destruction of forests and covering all these acres of water absorbing ground, it's conducive to flooding. It leads to flooding. Okay, it also leads to runoff, carrying debris into rivers and even the ocean. Okay. There's also the impact on the environment. Whether one believes in climate change or not, it's the fact that the destruction of the forest leads to global warming. Okay. Granted, our little contribution has little effect in a worldwide scheme of things, but it has an effect on our community. Our local ambient temperature increases. It leads to increasing in cooling costs, increase in danger to members of the community where high heat is a problem, and there's more deterioration of the housing caused by the heat. There's also the impact on infrastructure. Just look at our 87, the increase in the traffic load. Eventually, it increases. It's going to be, this is due to an increase in housing, businesses. It will require expansion of the roads eventually. You'll also have to, it'll also require an increase in support agencies, full-time paid firemen. I understand the firemen are volunteer. Okay, police department, not to mention water and sewage. Do we as a community want to go down that path? Okay, there's a whole bunch of regulations concerning development here. Concerning the flooding, there's supposed to be a flood plan administrator. Do we have one? All right. There's also logging instructions. A number of trees are protected in North Carolina, most notably in BSL is a longleaf pine. You're not supposed to cut the longleaf pine. There's a restriction that a permit is required for the removal of any tree that is 8 inches or larger in diameter. That's about 25 inches around. At breast height, which is 4.5 feet. Okay. The compliance, okay? No structure or land shall hereafter be located, extended, converted, diverted, altered, or developed in any way without full compliance with the terms of this article. This article says, basically, require that use is vulnerable to floods, including facilities. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. You people, you already know all this stuff, okay? A flood plan permit shall be required in accordance with city's flood damage prevention ordinance. Okay, any development activities within this special flood hazard area, okay, has to have this flood plan permit. Okay, the developers have to come in with a plan. How are they gonna control the water? What are they gonna do with it? I don't know if that's been done. Okay. Now we're faced at a critical point. Do we allow more development, which leads to more runoff, more flooding, potential danger? The thing is, you allow more development, changes are made to the flood plan to coordinate, to control this flood. Then you turn around and you add more development, and you have to change the thing again, and this costs money, okay? Which is, somebody else will probably talk about that, okay? Let's see, spend more money, blah, blah. That's allow the flooding to influence our community, our rivers, even the oceans. We have options, okay? The options available are, we continue along this path and allow the flood plan, the flooding to continue. Any option is not really available. The option I like is stop the building, stop it now, okay? Make the changes that you need to make to control the flooding now, but don't add any more buildings. Right? That's about it, sir. Thank you for your time.
Did anybody else sign up for public hearing or waiting for the budget? Is that it? Okay, all right. Now I need a motion to go into the public hearing.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Lovin, second by Commissioner Sherwood. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start with Kenna Jones.
It's Keenan.
Kenna, right.
That's right, no worries.
I'm not good with names.
What's that?
I'm not good with names.
Must've been tough your whole life.
Thank you.
I live on Lake Keziah. I don't know if you need an address or not. Lake Keziah, been here quite a few years, been in the area quite a few years, but, I want to start off by saying this, we're talking about budget, right?
Yes, sir.
Stormwater problem didn't start yesterday or the day before. I've been out here all my life, went to high school, whatever. And, we've had problems with stormwater since day one. I don't know if you remember the swimming hole issue. We had to pay a bunch of money for that because they were flooding in their yards over there. Same thing with, Highlands. My bride and I rode into Highlands when they were building it, and there was water above the foundations at that time. And I can't understand who give us permits to build in a place like that. Right, and when you go in there and you take all those trees down, what's going to happen to the stormwater? It's not going to soak up. Those pine trees are not going to soak up because they're dead and gone. Now, I'd like to know how much that cost us, the Highlands issue, because we had to sign something, I think some kind of agreement. And I haven't seen any transparency on that yet. So it was on the news. I'd like to know how much that cost us. Was it insurance? Was it us? And now we're talking about a budget, gotta go up on our taxes. So I got a real problem with that. Now, right around the corner from my house, on High Point, about 10 years ago, they built a 2-story house, and every time we have a rainstorm, thunderstorm, it floods on that house. Should have never been built on. I don't know how it perks. And I don't know why we gave them a building permit, the Boiling Springs, whoever gives a building permit. Same thing with Highlands. Those people they got problems over there. And now, between that house around by my house on Fayetteville, they put another house in there. They cleared all the trees in there, and I thought they couldn't because of the woodpeckers. Apparently that's changed. Does everybody agree that's changed? If you ever.
I need you just to communicate. I can't have the whole audience.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you don't mind.
I'm sorry. I thought we had issues with putting up pine trees down because of the woodpeckers. But apparently, if it's gonna increase tax base, we can push down any tree we want to build a house. My house is already built. And if I wanna get a tree cut down around my house, I'll face this way, if I have to go through the forestry service. Apparently, that's changed, because we can cut down 7.9, we can't cut down 7.9 on this? Yeah, we can, right? Yeah, so that has changed. Because every pine tree I try to cut down of mine, they want me to plant another pine tree. So I don't know how the forestry service has changed. Apparently it has. But now that house that I was talking about earlier, right around the corner from me, that floods every time we have rain, they try to put they put another house in between. And before this last no-name tropical storm or whatever it was, they had cleared that lot. And I was walking my dog through there, and I could say, the pond is higher than that lot. And they're gonna build a house on it. What'd they do? They hauled a bunch of sand in. I don't know how they got it first. That's a county issue. I know it's not Charlotte's issue. But they hauled a bunch of sand in, then they had a rendezvous down there, and they piled in a brush of wood to build. So that tropical, no-name tropical storm came through, washed all that sand across the street, washed a porta potty out in the middle of the road. And lumber, I mean, big stack of lumber about like this floated and went out into the road. Guess what they did? They moved all that stuff back, piled more dirt in there, and they're gonna build on that lot. I wonder why we have a stormwater issue. It didn't happen yesterday. I mean, there's been no ditches out here forever. And what do? We keep approving more and more and more houses. Not every lot in Boiling Spring Lakes is buildable. It's good. But you can go through there and walk through and it's casual water, as we say on the golf course. That lot should not be built on. I'm sorry somebody bought it, buyer beware. You know, I hate it for them. But there's a lot of lots in Boiling Springs that should never be built on. On the main drag going down towards my place, that house that's built right on the creek, their driveway washed out in that storm. And 2 years, 3 years before that, the whole road washed out, and they still built a house there. That's the waterway right through there. And we approved, not me, somebody approved building a house there. That don't make any sense. If we're worried about water, storm water, that's 5 minutes. The only other thing I'd like to say is, I'd like to see some transparency on the money we're spending on this dam.
I'll address some of it later when I get to make my comments on stuff. So
I'd like to see it in writing.
we have all that.
Okay, good. We can get copies of that.
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. Thank you.
Patrick? Yeah, Patrick? Patrick.
Hello, my name is Patrick, and my wife and I have lived here in Boiling Springs for,
State your address too.
beg your pardon?
State your address too, if you don't mind.
We live at 341 Ash Road, but we've been in Boiling Springs on and off for the last 13 years, and then we were here once before. If the city was a small business, they'd be broke. Out of business tomorrow. the amount of appropriations and the money that gets spent, the dam, this road out here, they built the Empire State Building in 1931 with primitive equipment in 12 months. They've been messing around with this road for more than 12 months, and the dam, 6 years. And it's like the other gentleman said, there's a lot of smart people out here that have come up and talked, and they just use common sense. It seems like the city has no common sense. They build a new police station or renovate. It's not open after 4:30. It's closed on the weekend. Holidays, there's no one there. What did they need that for? They didn't. It's a good thing we have a good fire department, but did they really need that extravagant of a building? It almost seems like Boiling Springs is trying to be something that it's not. There's no economic base here to support this town except for people living here. And most people living here are retired. Do you think everybody out here that's on Social Security can call the government and say, I want a 42% raise in 1 year? That's not going to happen. They're going to be lucky if they get 3%. Where's the oversight in all the money that keeps getting spent on projects that don't get finished? Like the one gentleman said, there should have been a time and a date on completion. If it's overrun, they pay, but it just goes on forever. I mean, I don't know who's in charge of all these different debacles that they have, but it's a mess. I mean, it's just a real mess. And a lot of nice people live here, but they can't support a town that wants to be a big city, and it's never going to be. There's no industry here. And they keep, like the gentleman said, issuing permits, build more houses, more revenue, more houses. And the mess down on 50 Lakes in the Highlands, that should have never happened. I feel so bad for the people that live down there. I mean, they're not going to be able to sell their house. And so that's all I have to say. It's just that there should be some real oversight. And I don't know anyone up here. I don't know anyone up here if they get paid for being up here. You know, I don't know anyone's salaries. But whatever it is, it's too much because nothing's getting done properly. That's all I have to say.
Diane?
Diane or Diana?
Diana? Diana?
Tercey?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Diana Tercey, 961 Palmetto Road. I'm not going to beat the horse to death about, you know, the dams and all of that. I understand where that money came from, and I understand that that is completely separate than your budget and all of the other issues. But what I do want to address is, first of all, let me thank the public responders and all of the people who supported them. You all did such a fabulous job all the way around, truly, truly, truly. On 87, and I see that devastation. It occurs to me that altruism aside, that wasn't free. All of the people that came together to put that fire out, that costs money. The helicopters, all the people from the other jurisdictions that banded together to come and help us out, that costs money. I didn't go all the way through the draft budget, but I don't see anywhere in here where there is any estimate or compensation or who we would wind up having to pay some kind of compensation to for that. So I'd love to know how that works and whether or not that's something that the city would have to pay for. In addition to that, I'd like to know what's going to happen to that property that we clear cut anticipating that there would be businesses coming in. Our only, or virtually our only source of income is from the residents right now. The tax base is the residents. So we've got a chicken and egg problem, right? We don't want more development, but at the same time, without more residents, there's no way to spread the joy of taxation, right? So that is a chicken and egg problem. But I'm concerned about the public safety issues and trying to keep up with that. You know, we've got in the budget, we have a new group of people that we're bringing in to manage the drainage systems, and I'm presuming that's as a result of the lawsuit. But if it's not, great. It's good to know that that's finally being addressed. But is there a time frame if that gets passed? When are we gonna get them in? What's the time frame for having a plan to address these issues? Unfortunately, evacuation plans, I have not seen any. When I look on the website, we have 133 that's closed until September, and we are just starting hurricane season. The wildfire situation showed us that there is no good evacuation plan that is going to be, that needs to be, if there is one, it needs to be publicly addressed. And again, the funds associated with it, I didn't see in the budget. So I'd love to hear what the plan is for that and how that's going to be paid for. So, thank you.
Ruth? Ruth? Maloney?
Good evening. My name is Ruth Maloney. I live at 312 Catawba Road here in Bowling Springs. I don't understand this. This is totally ridiculous. This is going to be more than our county taxes. Everybody got brand new cars. I don't have one. My neighbor don't have one. What was the need for all the brand new cars? I do want to thank the firemen. You guys are wonderful. If this is part of the Highlands situation that the town sold to the developer, it's ridiculous. I have ditches around my house that I have been to the town for years. They've been there once and they made my ditch deeper, and there's still constant standing water. That property, from what I understand, belongs to the town. It's supposed to be maintained. I don't understand why that has not been in place for years. I have been here 23 years, and it has never been addressed, but one time at my house. I don't know about anybody else, but water stands in that ditch. And you want me to pay taxes when I can't get anything, or probably half the people in this room can't get anything or any satisfaction out of the town. No one does their job properly. We need new people in, or y'all need to straighten up. That's all I have to say.
Shelby?
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Shelby Kennard. I live in Charlestown Road, the redheaded stepchild of Boiling Spring Lakes. Our roads basically look like the moon. Citizens of Boiling Spring Lakes are already under the growing burden of ever-increasing insurance. In the 8 years we've been here, my homeowner's insurance has doubled. My hail and wind insurance has doubled. It went from $1,200 to $2,400. At the same time, my taxes have gone up a great amount, not because the rate went up, but because the assessment of my house went up an immense amount. I have no intention of selling my house anytime soon, but I'm watching my taxes go up 50, 60% in a really short amount of time, which also means that Boiling Spring Lake's revenue went up 50, 60% on my house at that time. It needs to be there's going to be some need for tax increases. It's happening all over the place. Southport's having a 16% tax increase. Leland tried the mother of all tax increases, and of course they got barbecued in their BOC. I have a feeling that you set 42% so you could set a lower percent in reality. I'm hoping that's the case, because we know that you won't have a seat here on your next election.
Be quiet in the audience, please.
That's basically all I have to say. I am a little concerned that taxes are going up. Like I said, we live south of 50 Lakes. The previous mayor said some disparaging things about south of 50 Lakes, that certain improvements like walking paths would never occur in that area. You know, if we ever hear that again, I will push for a secession in that area from the town. That's enough. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Chris Simpson? Chris Simpson?
That's me. Good evening. My name is Chris Simpson, and I live at 10 Glenwood Drive. And I made a couple notes here. I'll go through them quickly. The 3% COLA that you guys are asking for, I'm not for that. And the reason that I'm not for that is for many years, I worked for CPS in a different state. And every year, they promised us that we would get a 3% cost of living increase. And every year, we got a 1.5%. So if it's good enough for me, who worked with CPS and took care of our most endangered population with kids, I think it's good enough for you guys. That's all you need, a 1.5, you know? So that's my piece on that. The 42% increase, I don't support that. My Social Security, we got 2.5 this year. 2.5 was our cost of living. That's another reason why you guys, I don't know which ones of you get a salary. Do you get a salary, Mr. Mayor? And I know you get $104,000 at least. Wow. That's a shit boatload of money compared to what I get on my Social Security. Now, maybe you can afford 42%, or maybe you have a ton of write-offs so that you don't have to pay taxes. I don't know. You know, more help to you, you know, if you do. I'm also concerned about when.
Ms. Simpson?
I don't think it's
Oh,
Not 5 minutes.
I'm just asking because I heard the.
Cut me off. Don't you cut me off. I'm concerned about when Pine Lake and North Lake will be done and when that road will be paved and reopened. Just that little part of the road that Boiling Springs is responsible for. That's what I want to know. When are you guys going to have that done? I heard, in fact, you told me, sir, that the lake there, that would be done by June 6th.
Address the board, please.
I am, I'm addressing the mayor.
He's not the board, we're the board.
You're the board, okay, well,
He's-
then you can ask him, the city manager, who told me it would be open, it would be done, the lake would be done, the dam up there would be done June 6th. So I'm sure everybody here would like to know, is that true? It came right out of his mouth the other day. Okay,
and the new storm water sewer department. Now, I know, because I read the settlement case, you had you had until the end of June to come up with your plan for dealing with the sewer system over there in the Highlands. It's in there. It's in the orders. So don't tell us that the stormwater department isn't a part of that thing. And all of those things were to be paid by BSL, not the citizens of BSL, but by BSL. So, that's it. Sewer department hired 3 people instead of 4.
Can I get a motion to close the public hearing? I have a motion by Commissioner Sherwood, a second by Commissioner Ramey. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. All right, we had another legislative public hearing for text amendment UDO. I need a motion to open that. I have a motion by Commissioner Sherwood, I have a second. Second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We had nobody signed up for that, so I need a motion to close that public hearing. I have a motion by Commissioner Sherwood, I have a second. Second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, say aye. All right.
Attached after the hearing, so if we'd like to go ahead and take a vote on that.
Well, there was both of them on that one public hearing, so I went ahead and done both public hearings before I take action against any of them.
Okay, that'd be fine.
All right. All right. 7.1, public hearing on the fiscal year budget 2020-26. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Sherwood. I have a second. Second. Second by Commissioner Love. And any comments? Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, legislative hearing to consider text amendment UDO, Article 7, Part 4, landscaping buffers and tree protection.
Mr. Mayor, there's no staff recommendation at this time. This was simply the public hearing.
Okay, all right. All right.
No.
Just a public hearing?
It's just the public.
Okay, all right. All right. BSL Fire Rescue. We already did that. I didn't see it on here. Oh, excuse me real quick. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Sherwood, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hall. In favor, I say aye. Aye. All right. Now, y'all. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and ladies, if you don't mind, since most of y'all are already aware of this, I'd like to address y'all.
Go ahead.
Please.
Forgive me, bear with me, I don't do public speaking very well. My name's Bill Lake, I'm your fire chief from Bowling Spring Lake Fire. I'd like to address some concerns real quick about this. How much of that 42% comes to us? None. What you pay in property taxes, we get a portion of that. And we can talk about this later. My door is always open. But no ma'am. That's pushing for new things. Awesome.
Thank you for your service.
I've talked to you before. I'm not a fireman. It's a great part about being a young.
I know. Excuse me, how was that? Forgive me. However,
I would like to say that there are some things that, now granted, our trucks don't run 24,000 miles a year. My newest engine is 13 years old. 13 years ago, that truck cost $500,000 to buy. Today, 1.2 million.
I do need some new equipment.
Yes, you're asking for money. It does not come out of any of this. Now, we do work very closely with the city. We have a great relationship. I'm trying to make it better. But it's a small drop in the bucket compared to what we get. So if you actually get your property taxes and look at things, it breaks it down and what you pay as a fire. So that's what we get, okay? Now, however many years ago, it was $300,000. Obviously, it's going up a little bit. But do you understand how much it takes to run a fire company like this? The other side of that is the city paid zero money to build that building. If we need it, have to deal with it. Every day, build another one as soon as we can.
doing 100+ hours a week as volunteers and working a full-time job. So again, my doors are always open. I'm happy to show you budgets, training hours, numbers, anything you want to see. I'm happy to talk to everybody about everything. On the other side of that, I just wanted to introduce myself to everybody, let everybody know who the fire chief is. And feel free to get in touch with us at any point.
I won't be that long. We did end last month with 77 total calls, and the last week of that, the first week of that month was the tail end of the big woods fire. But 77 calls total, 62 fire, and 15 of those were EMS calls. So while we didn't have
24,000, we're working on it.
That's not you. There was no planning board in May. Parks and Rec.
Hi, my name is Christine Carter. The overview I'll present and give to Tanya a copy when I'm through. At our last meeting, Catherine Curtis notified the board via email on April 25th of a resignation from the board. And at that same meeting, I was elected chairwoman. There's currently one open position and one open alternate position, and I believe the city website's up to date with that information. The next item is the Recreation Open Space Master Plan. The board is currently reviewing this plan as a majority of the data elements, the data remains relevant. There are a few accomplishments that were made to the plan. However, without any allocated funds, the plan remains status quo. For standing committee updates, the Communications Committee is going to begin to monitor 2 social media websites, and if there's others we don't know about, please let me know, Facebook and Nextdoor, for opportunities to respond to questions or concerns, provide fact-based information, and appropriately educate the public about the city parks and recreation. Facility Committee reports the city parks are in good standing, and any minor needs are communicated to Sarah, the Director of Parks and Rec. I don't have to do anything about either. The board is exploring options of either reassigning the registration of the 501c3 that was created under prior chairman, or creating a new 501c3 to raise funds so that we can start making some plans about what we could do for the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Special Events Committee.
Good evening. At our April meeting, we discussed our extravaganza again. Next year, we really hope to have it at Spring Lake. We want to make it bigger. We have some new great ideas for next year. We also discussed our Mayor's Cup, which will be held at the lakes on Saturday, August 9th. We will be planning that the next few months. Thank you. Have a good week.
Thank you. All right, thank you. And there was no library commission report. All right, Mr. Manager.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll give you a quick update on the dams. For all practical purposes, Upper Lake Dam has been completed. All that is left to install is some chain link fencing and survey markers. North Lake and Pine Lake Dam, there have been a few small delays which will delay the opening of East Bowling Spring Road. The contractor continues to make significant progress backfilling and armoring both sites. The road should be open soon. One of the reasons I hesitate to give a date is when we run into these type problems. Unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball and I can't tell you when things are going to be exact due to weather. So Sanford Dam, the contractor is currently pouring structural concrete for the dam. One of the reasons that you see all the work going on at North Lake and Pine Lake is because the contractor is working with the city to expedite getting East Bowling Spring Road open. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, had it not been for Tropical Cyclone number 8, that East Bowling Spring Road would already be open, and most likely Sanford Dam would be close to completion this summer. Back to talking about Upper Lake Dam, this is a significant milestone in this project. Very soon, North Lake and Pine Lake will be done, leaving only the Sanford Dam. The dam projects are moving along well, so we're really pleased about that. To answer one of your earlier questions, there is a penalty for late delivery of this project. It is built into the contract. I would like to shift gears a little bit and talk about Upper Lake Dam. The road over Upper Lake Dam is a 15-foot wide gravel road. In the past, vehicles have been able to use this road. The width of the Upper Lake Road does not accommodate two-way traffic. At best, it can be used for a single-lane road. Another alternative is for it to be used as a walking path during normal conditions with the ability to be opened as a single vehicle lane if something were to happen to the Mitchell Prince Bridge during an emergency evacuation or that sort of thing. Quick update on working with FEMA on the damages that were suffered at City Hall, road washouts, and the dams project. This has been proven to be one of the most difficult ventures with FEMA that I've ever been experienced with, and it's like my 7th or 8th storm. It's been so difficult, in fact, that the city has reached out to Congressman Rouser's office for assistance. I think we're finally moving forward and making some significant progress on that. I will keep you posted on what's next as far as that goes. And that's all I have for you this evening, Mr.
Can I ask you
Mayor.
a question on that? When is the completion date for them to be charged?
I believe it's June of 2027.
What?
June of 2027.
All right. Ordinance, new business, ordinance to amend chapter 4, section 459, limitations of insurance.
Yes, thank you. This is a staff-initiated request for article, chapter 4, sorry, section 459, city ordinance. Back in 2023, House Bill 488 was passed. In addition to some other changes, this was the bill that changed the licensing requirement from $30,000 to $40,000. The building inspections department has been enforcing this since day one when it was passed. This is simply changing the language in the ordinance to make it clear.
Can I get a motion to approve? So moved. I have a motion by Commissioner Millie, and a second. Second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, City Hall building flooring repairs. That's you.
We put it up so you can hear them.
So that way you can hear me, I decided to go to the podium. So this is, you can't hear me?
No, you can see.
So these are for the building repairs from PTC 8. We're working with FEMA. We did try to see if they can upgrade the material for water protection. Unfortunately, the cost for the material was too high, so it's going back to pre-storm conditions with carpet and then the baseboards. So this is not going to be a city cost. It's going to be FEMA paying back our insurance. So though the city pays up front, we're getting reimbursed through FEMA for the whole amount. And the staff is recommending going with the carpet warehouse and quality of first painting with the baseboards. It is the cheapest out of it, and insurance doesn't want to see it go too high with, we already did mold remediation and everything like that at the beginning, immediately after the storm hit. Yeah, officially approved the vendor selection.
Need a motion to approve flooring.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Logan, second by Commissioner Hall. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, Mayor, Commissioner reports. Commissioner Sherwood, you want to start?
I only was been studying the county budget and wanted to make sure that we asked them next year, 26-27 budget, to start putting money in for the treatment plant that we'll be using, which I think is North Brunswick. So that's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner May?
I just have a few comments, and really a lot of them are addressing stuff that was asked or said tonight. First of all, you know, everybody looks at that beautiful new fire station, and just so you know, the fire department is a complete separate entity of, they do not belong to us, we do not belong to them. They make their own decision. They buy their own building. We support them, but that's their decision. However, I want to say this. They do a great job, and it's like $6,000 for a set of turnout gear. It's very expensive. Firefighting is expensive. So that's why they ask for the money they do. And they do a great job, and we can see the fruit of their labor. Secondly, I heard someone make the comment about letting little houses be built in the city. Thank you to our state legislation. That's where that came from. That is not, we have no control over that. I used to be a building inspector here. That got shoved down our throat. We can't enforce 1,500 square feet, 1,200. We can't enforce that anymore. That was sent down from Raleigh. So that is not your local government that has done that.
You're right, Jim. In Raleigh, in Raleigh.
And as far as controlling building around here, if you own a lot and you get a septic permit from the county, pretty much you'll be able to build on that lot. That's the way it is. You bought the lot and it perks, you have a right to build on it unless there's some weird thing that you have the woodpecker on your lot. But other than that, you can build on lots. So we don't have the right to just tell you, no, you can't build any more houses here in BSL. Because if you've got, we don't have that right. That's just the way it is. And the final thing I wanted to address, just so everybody has an understanding of this, the property on Highway 87, we don't own it, we didn't clear it, and we're not developing. That's all a private individual who came to us. They have that right. They're in the process of working stuff right now to develop it. It's coming soon. Just hold on. And one last thing before I close my comments. That development being cleared there saved our city's butts. Bill will tell you, that was a giant fire break that helped stop that fire from sweeping through the left side of East BSL Road. That saved our butts. And I'm very thankful that it happened to be there. I think the Lord was looking after us personally. So thank you, and that's all I've got. Thank you.
Commissioner Hall.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have one more thing. The Highlands settlement was no cash involved in that. The Highlands settlement, there was no cash involved in that settlement. Sorry. Go ahead.
Our county tax rate this coming fiscal year will be 34 cents. We do fall well under that at 27 cents proposed. In 2021 and in 2022, our tax rate for our city was 28. We did go revenue neutral as we were asked to, along with other municipalities within Brunswick County in 2023 and 2024. I understand, I live here too. I don't work this extravagant job. I make peanuts at a local elementary school where we don't get any COLAs. My husband works for the county and we raise 2 kids. Like we understand the struggle of finances in this time. And I get it, but we are under the county tax rate. Somebody said we were gonna be over it.
So this tax rate is going up by the county?
Commissioner Lovin.
I mean, a lot's been said, so I'll just, y'all have a great week, great month. I see you next month. We are July.
No, you said the Citizens Forum.
Oh, the Citizens Forum. Okay, Hillman outside. So yeah, we'll see you then. So yeah.
Can we ask a question?
After we give everybody a chance at the public hearing, that's usually it, until we have our quarterly meetings, where there's back and forth comments.
We got a citizens forum on
Yeah.
that.
But as far as mayor's report, a lot of things that everybody takes for granted that the city does, we follow state rules. We have no choice but to follow the state rules. And they dictate building, they dictate flood, they dictate almost everything that we have to follow. It's not us up here making the rules. There's a lot of plotted land in this city that doesn't have to follow a lot of those rules, and that's one of the reasons the Highlands was allowed to be able to build, because those land was platted back in 60s, So they had their own way to do their things. They went through Army Corps of Engineers. Army Corps of Engineers approved them to build on that land, and the city had any other put but allowed them to build once they met all the criteria. If you deny anybody the right to build on their land, you're getting a lawsuit against you because you're refusing for them to build on their land. And who pays for that lawsuit? The city does.
I just was told that the other day.
So that's why when you see all these things getting built, it's not because we say they can't build, but if they go through Army Corps of Engineers on any wetland, they can meet the criteria with the Army Corps of Engineers and build. And we can't stop them, we can't say nothing about it, because they're allowed to do it per Army Corps of Engineers. So that's why you see a lot of these wetlands built on. A lot of the money, they're like over on Oak Island, they can build on wetlands there, pay off the fees that they need to pay off, and the money doesn't even stay in North Carolina. It can go anywhere in the United States. But that's what they're allowed to do if they go through the Army Corps of Engineers on wetlands. So we just follow the rules that the state puts out for us. And we have no say-so, nothing we can do to be able to contradict what the state does. We have to follow their rules. The second, I want to commend the fire department for their event they put on. It was a very good event. There was a lot of kids out there putting out pretend fires, using the water hoses, fire extinguishers, and it really was a good training session for kids to be able to see how to put out fires and do things like that. I'm thankful for our police department we have. We have to compete with every city around us to keep our police department where they're staying here and can actually serve our community, because they're out there trying to outbid everybody to get our officers. And if we do not compete, we're going to be having a shortage of officers to be able to respond to events when they happen. And the fire was a good event where we had all of our officers in here over overtime doing the job they needed to do, trying to direct traffic. So that was part of the budget too. I voted no against this budget because there's two reasons. One, I don't believe in taxes, never have. And the second thing is I need to be able to see things, and I was not able to see it. So that's why my no vote was there. So I support our police, I support our staff here because of the work they do. And if you think we're up there making a lot of money, you're dead wrong. I'll probably make 50 cents an hour for all the hours I put in. I'm not complaining. I signed up for this job, and I'm trying to do the best job I can do for the residents of this city, and I'll always try to do that. So that's all I have as a mayor's report. Announcements, junk in the trunk on June 9th, 8 to 12. June 7th, all right. June 7th, 8 to 12 at Community Center. Summer camp starts June 9th. Concert at Spring Lake Park featuring Hoods Creek Friday, June 13th, 6 to 8. And we actually have one this Friday, correct? The Board of Commissioners Citizen Forum will be June 19th at 6. Concert at Spring Lake Park featuring the Chance Union Band Friday, June 27th, 6 to 8. And our next meeting will be here July 1st at 6:30. Can I get a motion to go into closed session? A motion by Commissioner Sherwood, second by Commissioner Manay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
Now, can we ask a question?